Hi, everybody. This is the Christian News Network. So it's not the Christian World News, it's just Christian News because this is just related to Christians and warning Christians about what is about to happen. Now, here we have the Dow Jones chart from 1915 all the way to 2019, well, the recent date right now. Now, I want to explain this chart to you because this is very important to see what the elite are planning. And this whole thing has been planned by the Illuminati since the beginning. So I want to just explain certain things. There's the golden ratio, there's Fibonacci ratios. The golden ratio is 1.618, 2.618, 4.236. Then there's also 0.382, 0.5, 0.618. These are all ratios that are in the grand design that God made. It's in the universe, it's in seashells, it's in rose petals, it's everywhere. So now here we have the Dow Jones chart, and here is the top of 1929 before the great crash happened, and the top of the market was 388. Now if you multiply it by the golden ratio of 2.618, you get 1015. So where could we find the 1015? So over here we find 1,000 in 1966, and that is a Fibonacci 34 years after the 1932 bottom of the crash. Now if we take the actual high was 1,000, and that was 34 years from 1932 to 1966. If you take that 1,000 and you multiply it by 2.618, you get 2618. The actual high in 1987 was 2746. That was 55 Fibonacci years after the 1932 low to the 1987 high. Now if you multiply 2746.7 by the golden ratio of 4.236, you get 11,645, and the actual high was 11,750 from 1987 to 2000, which is right over here, and that was 13 years from the 1987 high. So what is the next projected top? So I believe they're doing these Fibonacci ratios on purpose. So what I think it is going to be is 11,750 times 2.618. You get 30,761. Now if you draw parallel lines, or actually a wedge, you could see that we're almost over here. This is going to be the area where we would top out at the 3,000 range. We haven't gotten there. Now we're correcting, but I believe that we will be going up in November. So the next projected at top is that. So, and also there's a Fibonacci 89 years from the 1929 top to the 2018 top. So we've already topped out here. I just think we're going to go higher. We're going to see there's a point where it's important to see that it doesn't drop through that point, and we'll be talking about that either later in another video. Now the projected low is 1932 plus 89 is 2021, and the projected low is, first low is 6,500, and the second low is 3,600, and the third low is actually down here at 40. So I'll explain why that could be the case. Now I'm not sure if there's any people that are investing in stocks, but if you take the Fibonacci retracement from that 40 all the way to the top that I'm projecting at let's say 30,000, you get the 0.786 at 65.23. The low over here was 64.59. So here you have the relationship going back right back to 2009 where they started the lowering of interest rates. Now, if you look over here, this pattern is similar to this. You have the first top here, the first top there, the second top here, second top there. And what we're doing over here, which I could show you right here, so here we're having a triangle sort of pattern. It could go lower, but anyways, it's a triangle pattern. And if you go back to the 1929 period, this is the 1929 period. Here there was a lot of volatility, and that was an expanding triangle. But after that, 2 months, we went up. So I'm believing that we're doing something similar to here, except for it's more of a triangle like this, okay? So this one was different than ours, but you could even say that this was sort of the same kind of triangle that we're experiencing. So, and then we had, once we hit the top, then we had the big drop. And this is what I'm expecting. So this is interesting in a lot of ways, because if you see the relationships between the previous crash that I want to let you become aware of. So now, if you take the birthday of the United States and you add 144, you get 1920. So that doesn't relate to the 1929 crash unless you add a 9-year. And that 9-year would mean we topped in 1929. Now, what does the 9 stand for? I'm going to tell you in a minute. Now, if you add 1776 to the next Fibonacci number, which is 233, you get 209. And that was actually a crash year. But if you add the 9, you have a top at 218 also. And the 9 in numerology, and that's what they use. If you do a search, what does, sorry. Here, when a 9 appears as a cycle, it often denotes the finality, the completion of an era. The 9 as a cycle is frequently seen as an indicator of death. This is simplistic and wrong. What 1 or 9 cycles does suggest is that you're in the final stages of a period or endeavor. So, you see, so it's a completion of an era, and they use that to signify a completion of an era. Like in 1929, it was a completion of an era and everything was reset. The same thing is going to happen after 2018. And if you look at the Economist magazine, back in 1988, they predicted in 2018, the 10th month, that they were going to set up this Phoenix zone, Phoenix coin, that was going to be worth 10 something, and that would rise out of the burning of all the the currencies. If you look over here, see, all the world currencies are being burnt. So, and then there's the phoenix, the one world currency rising out of it. Unfortunately for us, Hillary isn't in charge. It's Trump, and Trump is not going to let this happen. And another thing is the world in 2019, look, it's all black. And what does that mean? If you read the Wikipedia, it says the stock market crash of 1929, or the Great Crash, is the stock market crash that occurred in late October 1929. It started on October 24th, Black Thursday, and completed and continued until October 29, Black Tuesday, when share prices in the New York Stock Exchange collapsed. So they are planning to collapse the market and the currencies in this period. So they'll probably do it, but they're not going to get their famous Phoenix coin here because Hillary's not in charge. So I just want to warn you that at first we're going to hit the 6,500 level, which is like a 78% drop. Then we're going to hit anywhere between 1,800 to 4,000 for the second drop, and the final drop will be at 40. And why do I say that? Well, you see this pattern? Remember it in your head, the way it looks? Now, the market has given us a good preview of what's going to happen with this kind of pattern, which I'm going to show you in a minute here. If you put a wedge, there's another wedge pattern that just happened. Sorry, over here. So doesn't this look familiar to this? And so this is a grand super cycle. This is grand super cycle 3, grand super cycle 4, and grand super cycle 5. And just like this is going to go back to the previous fourth, this also goes back down to where it started. So this is a warning to all you that are looking that this is going to be a very dangerous period for investments. Cash is better. I do believe that the final 30,761 is going to come in probably after the November 6th elections, where the Republicans are going to win. But I urge you to go vote and make sure that they do win, and vote with paper, not online or not with anything electronic, so that they can't mess around with your vote. I urge you to call every Christian to go out there and vote to stop the elite from trying to impeach President Trump, because that's their plan. Okay, so God bless, and please go out there and make sure you tell everybody to vote. So if you like this video or you find it useful, please give me a like or give me a comment.